Welcome to Maths for All. I'm Aisling Flynn. This is Algebra 2.4, Quadratic Equations with Fractions. Solve. So solve means to find the value or values of x that make the equation true, to make left equals right. Okay, so I can see there's an x squared term, so this will be a quadratic equation. Looking at this, however, it's quite difficult as it stands because we have fractions. Okay, it is difficult to work with fractions, especially fractions with different denominators. So recall the golden rule of equations. If the equation reads left equals right, you can do whatever you wish to the equation, providing you do the same thing to the left as you do to the right, to keep it balanced, to keep left equals right. Okay. Numbers under the line, the denominators are for dividing. So we're going to use the opposite of that, multiplying, to hopefully remove those denominators. Okay, so the lowest common multiple of the denominators of 4, 20, and 10 is 20. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply everything on the left and everything on the right by 20. And hopefully we'll get some dividing going on, and the denominators will just become 1 and they'll go away. Okay, so it looks rather messy. It does help to use a different color pen when doing this. Okay, so what am I doing? I am multiplying every single term left and right by 20, thereby obeying the golden rule, keeping left equals right. Now let's do some division. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, 20 divided by 20 goes 1 times, and 20 divided by 10 goes twice. Okay, so we have some divisions going on there. So the denominators are used, or essentially they become 1, which doesn't affect the equation. So again, it looks rather messy, but the next line will be far more simplified. This is what we have left. So on the left, we have 5 times x squared plus 1 times 7 times x, or 1 times 7x, plus 2 times 1 equals 0. So anything multiplied by 0 on the right gives 0. Okay, so that looks much nicer. Let's remove the brackets. We'll just multiply. We get 5x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals 0. So here we have a quadratic equation, which we've seen lots of times before, and we can deal with this. So I want you to pause your screen now and take some paper and practice your factorizing and solve and see, do you get the same result as I will now? Okay. The factors are 5x plus 2 times x plus 1. The method for solving for x is to put each factor separately equal to 0. So 5x plus 2 equals 0. Take 2 from both sides, you get 5x equals minus 2. Divide both sides by 5 and you get x equals minus 2 over 5. So that's one solution for x. Using the other factor, x plus 1 equals 0. Take 1 from both sides, you get x equals minus 1. And that's the second solution, or the second root of the equation. Okay, so really it's a lot of preparation work before you can solve your quadratic equation. So let's solve another. You see that this one is slightly different in that it has the variable under the line. Okay, but the method will be the same. On the right, you have a whole number 1. If it helps, you can write this as 1 over 1. So any whole number can be written as itself over 1, because dividing by 1 doesn't change it. So the lowest common multiple of the numbers underneath is a product of all 3 denominators. So 1 times y plus 1 times 2y minus 1. Now we won't use the number 1 because it doesn't change anything. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything left and right by the lowest common multiple. You can see it there in red, so it's a big long expression. Okay, and we've multiplied each term by it. And now we're going to use division to simplify. So y plus 1 divided by y plus 1 is equal to 1. 2 y minus 1 divided by itself is equal to 1. And on the right, we just have 1 divided by 1. So, okay, it doesn't really give us anything. Now, simplifying each term. So the first term gives me 2y minus 1. The second term, we have to multiply 2 by y plus 1. And on the right, we'll have a 2 by 2 multiplication to do at the next stage. Okay, so the fractions are gone. That's what we wanted. So removing brackets, this is what we'll have. So 2y minus 1 plus 2y plus 2 equals, and then the 2 by 2 multiplication gives me what looks like the quadratic part. So 2y squared minus y plus 2y minus 1. Okay, I think we can simplify a little left and right before we start moving things. So on the left we get 4y plus 1, and on the right we get 2y squared plus y minus 1. Now our quadratics usually have a y squared part plus a y term plus a number term equals 0. So we want everything collected together on one side and 0 on the other. So I chose in this example to move everything to the right because that's where the plus 2y squared term is. Okay, and that's shown on the next line. So 4y appears as minus 4y on the right and the plus 1 as minus 1 on the right. And simplifying, this is what we get. 2y squared minus 3y minus 2 equals 0. So that's our quadratic equation. Again, I want you to pause the video now, take a piece of paper, practice your factorizing and solve for y and compare your answer to mine in a moment. So the factors are 2y plus 1 by y minus 2. To solve, we put each factor separately equal to 0. 2y plus 1 equals 0. Take 1 from both sides. We get 2y equals minus 1. Divide both sides by 2. We get y equals minus a half, or minus 1 over 2. With the other factor, y minus 2 equals 0, we add 2 to both sides and we get y equals 2. So there we have two answers for y for our quadratic equation. So let's solve this one. Okay. Again, our variable is under the line in this case, and we do have a third denominator on the right, the number 3, which we'll have to use also. And also it's a subtraction, so we'll have to be careful around our use of the minus sign. Okay, so our lowest common multiple is the product of all 3 denominators. So we're going to multiply each part, left and right, by the common multiple. Okay, so it's there in red. You can see, yes, it's long, it takes up lots of space, but after we use division, things should be much more simplified. So dividing then, 3x minus 1 divided by itself gives 1. X minus 3 divided by itself gives 1. And 3 divided by itself gives 1. Okay, so let's tidy up and simplify and see what remains. So the first term gives me 2 times 3 gives 6, and that will have to be multiplied by the bracket x minus 3. Then we have minus 5 3's give 15, and that will be multiplied by 3x minus 1 equals 2 times 3x minus 1 by x minus 3. Okay, so a bit more to do on the right hand side. So let's develop that more. Multiplying in the 6, you get 6x minus 18. And now we have to take away 15 times that bracket. So this minus must be used with the 15 2 times because it's a 1 by 2 multiplication. So I said to myself, minus 15 multiplied by 3x gives minus 45x. Okay, and minus 15 multiplied by minus 1, that's minus by minus, gives me plus 15. Okay, so just take care there. You must use that takeaway sign or minus sign twice. Okay, equals. So on the far side, the first thing I did was multiply the 2 by the first bracket. So we get 6x minus 2, and that result will need to be multiplied by x minus 3. So on this line, I've simplified on the left. So 6x minus 45x give minus 39x. Minus 18 plus 15 give minus 3 equals. Then we had a 2 by 2 multiplication. So in reality, you would use rough work paper and take some time to work it out. Okay, so I got 6x squared minus 18x minus 2x plus 6. And then I moved everything to one side, leaving nothing or 0 on the other. So I moved everything to be with the x squared term. Okay, and you can pause there for a minute and notice the change in signs. Okay, and next step is to simplify. So add things that are the same. So I got 6x squared plus 19x plus 3 equals 0. Again, you can pause the video and make sure that when you simplify, you get the same. Okay. Now, you can pause at this stage also and practice your factorizing and solve for x. And compare your answer to what's on the next slide. So we're going to factorize this quadratic equation. I got 6x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay, it will give me 18 plus 1 to make 19 in the center. To solve, we put each factor separately equal to 0. 6x plus 1 equals 0. Take 1 from both sides, you get 6x equals minus 1. Divide both sides by 6, you get x equals minus 1 over 6 or minus 1/6. Okay, putting the x plus 3 equals 0, take 3 from both sides, you get x equals minus 3. And they are the roots of the equation. So these ones are long, they take up lots of paper. There's many opportunities to make mistakes. So go slowly and steadily, step by step, and show your workings. Now you try some of those. Algebra 2.4, quadratic equations with fractions. Try the quiz and the written exercises.